Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Adam Pearce was forced to intervene as a top champion seemingly suffered a nose injury and a post-match attack at WWE Backlash 2025, despite winning the match. The second match of the night at Backlash 2025 saw Lyra Valkyria put her Intercontinental title on the line against Becky Lynch, her former idol-turned-rival. In an epic contest, Valkyria picked up the win, albeit via a roll-up pin. But a win is a win. Valkyria was clutching her nose during the pin, but she didn't even get a second to celebrate. Becky Lynch quickly attacked her and put the disarm her on the Intercontinental Champion. Following this, Adam Pearce intervened. As producer and former WWE star Jason Jordan escorted Becky Lynch out, Adam Pearce looked on in the ring with disgust. However, this was merely another night for the Raw general manager, who is used to dealing with the chaos of the roster. However, that chaos didn't involve Becky Lynch for nearly a year, and ever since WrestleMania 41, she has been a menace, particularly to the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. Lynch is now 0-2 against Valkyria, and it seems their rivalry is far from over, considering how things played out at Backlash. The WWE Universe was left in stunned silence at WWE Backlash 2025 when a sudden and shocking injury potentially altered the trajectory of one of WWE's most prestigious titles. What began as a high-octane match filled with drama, resilience, and brutal intensity ended in chaos when a top champion appeared to suffer a serious nose injury midway through the contest, prompting WWE official Adam Pearce to intervene in what fans are already calling one of the most controversial endings in recent WWE pay-per-view history. In a night filled with fierce rivalries and championship gold on the line, the clash that was expected to steal the show ended in an eerie display of real concern, urgent medical attention, and an authority figure stepping into the ring under circumstances no one saw coming. The match in question featured the current reigning Intercontinental Champion, the Ring General Gunther, defending his title in a grueling triple threat contest against the red-hot Bronson Reed and the returning fan-favorite Ricochet. Gunther, known for his punishing strikes and unmatched discipline, had entered Backlash 2025 with his title reign crossing another milestone, making it clear in the weeks leading up to the event that no one would take the gold from him as long as he could breathe. That proclamation echoed back in shocking irony. From the opening bell, the atmosphere was electric. Ricochet's acrobatics painted the ring with flair while Bronson Reed's brute force dominated the early momentum. Gunther, the tactician and punisher, countered with stiff chops that echoed across the arena and unforgiving power slams that seemed to silence the crowd with each landing. The pace escalated into a violent crescendo of just minutes into the bout. Reed and Gunther exchanged blows on the apron while Ricochet launched himself through the air in a stunning shooting star press to the outside. The crowd erupted, but moments later, it became clear something was wrong. Cameras caught Gunther rolling away, blood visibly trickling from his nose, his face twisted not in selling but in pain. He clutched his nose, grimaced, and stayed down longer than expected. Medical personnel rushed to ringside. For a moment, confusion took over. The match continued briefly with Ricochet and Reed exchanging offense inside the ring. But the camera's focus stayed on Gunther, who was now sitting on the arena floor being examined. Blood continued to flow. Commentary speculated a broken nose or internal injury following an earlier collision with Reed's running shoulder block. Reports backstage suggest that Gunther was heard telling a medic, "I can't breathe right," before Pearce was seen walking out from the curtain, headset off, urgency written across his face. The sight of Adam Pearce walking down the ramp mid-match sent a wave of speculation through the crowd. Pearce is no stranger to making tough calls, but intervening in the middle of a pay-per-view title match is almost unheard of. It wasn't just an injury angle. This felt real. Pearce conferred briefly with the ringside physician before making a move that would change the night. He motioned to the referee who, after a short pause, threw up the X, the sign every fan knows means legitimate medical concern. Gunther, still conscious and moving, appeared frustrated, brushing off the medical staff, trying to re-enter the match. But Pearce placed a hand on his chest and shook his head. In a rare moment of unscripted authority, the WWE official made the call to remove the champion from the match for his own safety. Inside the ring, the confusion escalated. Reed, now realizing his opponent was down for real, appeared visibly concerned. Ricochet, always respectful of his opponents, slowed his pace. The energy changed. And then, without warning, Pearce grabbed a microphone and announced that due to Gunther being medically unable to continue, the match would proceed as a one-on-one between Reed and Ricochet, with the winner being crowned the Intercontinental Champion. The WWE Universe exploded. Shock turned into disbelief. Ricochet, the perennial underdog, faced off against Reed in an impromptu climax that delivered adrenaline-pumping action. The two traded near falls in a fierce 5-minute sequence until Ricochet finally landed a brutal recoil followed by his signature 630 splash to claim victory and win the Intercontinental Championship in the most unexpected fashion of the night. Yet the celebration was subdued. Backstage, cameras cut to Pearce addressing a group of concerned superstars, confirming that Gunther was being taken for further evaluation. He commended his resilience but stood by his decision to prioritize health over pride. Gunther's health comes first. I saw the look in his eyes. He wanted to continue. But when someone says they can't breathe and there's visible damage, we stop the match. Period. Pearce said firmly. His decision sparked widespread discussion online, with fans, former WWE stars, and analysts debating whether the intervention was necessary or premature. Gunther, despite the setback, was seen walking out under his own power, but declined to comment. Sources close to the situation say he is being monitored for a possible nasal fracture and potential orbital damage, depending on the extent of the impact and whether any internal bleeding occurred. The injury has led to immediate fallout across WWE programming. On Raw, Pearce confirmed that Ricochet's victory would stand, making him the new Intercontinental Champion. However, Pearce also stated that once cleared, Gunther would be granted a rematch due to the controversial nature of his exit. Reed, meanwhile, has demanded another opportunity, claiming the sudden shift in match dynamics put him at a psychological disadvantage. Social media has exploded with support for Gunther, with fans tweeting #ThankYouGunther and praising his title reign that brought legitimacy back to the Intercontinental Championship. Others, however, feel Ricochet's moment of redemption is long overdue, especially after years of setbacks and injuries that kept him from championship gold. Interestingly, a backstage report has surfaced suggesting that Pearce may have received direct communication from WWE's medical protocol team during the match. If true, it would imply that the intervention wasn't solely his call, but a directive based on evolving WWE safety standards after high-profile injuries over the last year. Whether this means Pearce's authority is growing more conditional remains to be seen. Gunther's potential time away will undoubtedly leave a massive void in the Intercontinental title scene. His dominance over the last 2 years made the title feel like the workhorse championship again, and losing it due to injury rather than defeat feels poetic in a cruel way. That said, Ricochet now has a chance to prove he's more than just a highlight reel superstar. His reign begins not with a pin over Gunther, but with the burden of carrying a legacy started by the very man he couldn't defeat directly. What's next for Adam Pearce? Sources within WWE suggest that he's been under pressure to maintain wrestler safety protocols following internal reviews. His decision to intervene may have saved a career, but it also risks backlash from talent who fear that in-ring storytelling may become secondary to medical micromanagement. Backlash 2025 will be remembered not just for its wild outcomes or championship changes, but for the night the lines between fiction and reality blurred once more. It reminded everyone that in WWE, anything can happen, and that sometimes the most heroic act isn't winning a match, but stepping in to protect a performer from himself. As for Gunther, WWE.com issued an official update late Sunday night confirming that he suffered a broken nose and possible additional facial trauma, but remains in good spirits. The former champion reportedly told trainers backstage, "This is not how it ends." And knowing the ring general's mindset, he won't be. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.